Hello children, welcome all. Let's continue our chapter combustion and flame. Before we continue, let's have a quick recap of the chapter, whatever we have learned in the last session. We have learned about flame. Flame is a hot glowing body of ignited gas which is produced when something is on fire. That is, the substances which vaporize only will produce flame. And the substances which vaporize during burning give flames. Example, kerosene oil, molten wax, etc. They rise through the wick and are vaporized during burning, and thus it forms flames. Then charcoal, on the other hand, it does not vaporize and so it does not produce a flame. So from this we understood that all combustible substances, they do not produce flame. Substances which vaporize while burning only give flames. Then three zones of flames. Outermost zone is blue in color and it is the hottest part of the flame. And this is also the zone where complete combustion takes place. Then middle zone is yellow in color. It is moderately hot and where partial combustion takes place. Then innermost zone is black in color. It is least hot, and here we can find the unburnt carbon particles or unburnt wax vapors of the candle. That is generally we can tell unburnt particle of a few substances will be present in the innermost zone of a flame. Then we have learnt about what is a fuel. Fuel are substances that give us heat. That heat we can use for domestic and industrial purposes. And examples for fuel we can tell wood, kerosene, petrol, etc. Then we have learned about what is ideal fuel or good fuel look like. Ideally, a good fuel is the one which has proper ignition temperature. That is, it should neither has too high or nor too low temperature, ignition temperature. And it should not produce undesirable or poisonous substances and thus cause pollution. It should not leave behind much ash. It should be cheap, readily available, produces large amount of heat, or we can tell it should have high calorific value. It should have a moderate rate of consumption. It should be easily controllable, and it should be easy to transport, easy to handle, should have low moisture content so that it can burn easily. And some fuels are cheaper than ideal fuel, are cheaper than others. So in this, by all these properties, we can consider those fuels are ideal fuel, or we can tell that as good fuel. Now, we will continue our this about fuel, types of fuels. What fuels can be mainly divided into three groups on the basis of its states. So we can classify fuels as liquid fuels, solid fuels, and gaseous fuels. Liquid fuels, fuels which are present in liquid state like petroleum or crude oil. Isn't it crude oil from which we get petrol, diesel, kerosene, etc. And these are all present in liquid state, so we can call that as liquid fuels. Then solid fuels, fuels which are at solid state like firewood, charcoal, coal. Coal is also a fossil fuel which can be mined, isn't it, as steam coke or soft coke, etc. Then we can dung cakes, that is animal dung, animal waste, excretory waste, which is dried and kept. So we call that as dung cakes, which is in solid state. Then straw, that is dry grass, and other agricultural waste, then paraffin wax, camphor, etc. These are all present in solid state, so come under solid fuels. Then coming to gaseous fuels, which are the fuels which are in gaseous state. Most commonly used gaseous fuel is LPG, that is liquefied petroleum gas, which we use as cooking gas at home. And other than this, some of the other commonly used gaseous fuels are, we get CNG, compressed natural gas from natural oil wells, then natural gas, otherwise methane, they get released from the putrefying organic matter, that is decomposition of organic matter, then butane gas obtained from natural gas, as well as we get biogas, that is in villages, animal dung and farm waste are used to produce biogas, and biogas is also get collected from the sewage plants. And then we get coke, that is coal gas, when hard coke is heated and it is converted into coke and coal gas is produced. So these are all different gaseous fuels we know generally used. And if you are, suppose you were asked to boil a given quantity of water by using cow dung, coal, LPG as a fuel. Suppose you were given these three fuels and you were supposed to boil some quantity of water. Which fuel you would prefer? You would obviously will prefer LPG as a fuel. What will be the reason? If you compare these three fuels, can these three fuels produce same amount of heat? No, LPG, it produces large amount of heat in a short period of time. So this, on the basis of this, that is amount of heat produced. What did we call that as? Calorific value. So on the basis of high calorific value, this LPG fuel is a very preferred for cooking, isn't it? So what is calorific value? The amount of heat energy produced on a complete combustion of 1 kilogram of a fuel is called its calorific value. Again, what is calorific value is nothing but the amount of heat energy produced when on complete combustion of 1 kg, 1 kilogram of a fuel is called its calorific value. So we can tell calorific value is expressed in a unit called kilojoule per kg. That is kg/kj, kilojoules per kg. What is the unit of calorific value? Kj per kg. That is kilojoule per kilogram is a unit of calorific value. And if you see some fuel and calorific value, see in the table given, cow dung cake, calorific value is 6,000 to 8,000, wood 17,000 to 22,000, coal 25,000 to 33,000. So it is given in the increasing order, isn't it? So cow dung cake, wood, coal, petrol, kerosene, diesel, methane, CNG, LPG, biogas, and hydrogen. So if you look at the table, we will see that hydrogen seems to be the most efficient fuel because it has a high calorific value, which is followed by LPG, CNG, and then methane. Isn't it? Methane come next, which is closely followed by kerosene, diesel, etc. Isn't it? And cow dung cake, if you see, it seems to be the least efficient fuel because its calorific value, the amount of heat energy produced is comparatively less. So we can tell that hydrogen is said to be the most efficient fuel because it has high calorific value of 1,50,000 kilojoule per kg. Along with the unit, you should know. Okay, children. So which fuel has a high, which fuel has most efficient fuel? The fuel which has a high calorific value. You may be given some fuel with calorific value and asked to find out the most efficient fuel. So which one you will select? The fuel which has a high calorific value is the most efficient fuel. No need to by heart the calorific value, but you should know the fuel which has a high calorific value is the most efficient fuel. Now we'll see about uses of fuels. So fuels used in many ways, isn't it? So some of the ways in which common fuels are used. So let us generally discuss what are the different uses of fuels. So gasoline, it is used in cars, scooters and other vehicles we use every day. Then natural gas is used in heating system like water heaters, dryers and stove top which we use in our house, etc. So what we use natural gas. Then oil and natural gas are used in making things that we use every day. Hydrocarbons, for example, they are used in making plastics, then pharmaceuticals and several other items we use daily. So oil and natural gas we use making several things that we use every day. For example, hydrocarbon used in making plastics, pharmaceuticals and several other items we use daily. And coal is a primary fossil fuels used in thermal power plant. Thermal power plant, by burning of coal, that from the heat electricity is produced, isn't it? So coal is a primary fossil fuel used in many thermal power plants to produce electricity. So in this way we can have different uses of fuels. Now, harmful effects of burning fuels. What are the harmful effects of burning fuels? The increasing fuel consumption. As population get increased, we are tremendously increased our consumption of fossil fuels, which leads to harmful effects of on our environment. So first harmful effect is carbon fuels like wood, coal, petroleum. These are all may consist of carbon, isn't it? So carbon fuel, they release unburnt carbon particles. And these fine particles are the very harmful pollutant. What do you mean by pollutant? The substance which cause pollution. So here the unburnt carbon particle is a pollutant which cause respiratory diseases like asthma. Then second harmful effect, incomplete combustion of these fuels. These also release carbon monoxide gas, which is very poisonous gas, and that is why we said that it is very dangerous to burn coal in a closed room, because by burning coal, carbon monoxide gas is produced, and in a closed room, so only carbon monoxide gas will be there, and it may kill the person sleeping in that room. So by burning coal, carbon incomplete combustion, it releases carbon monoxide gas. Then combustion of most fuels releases carbon dioxide in the environment. So as we know that increasing carbon dioxide is one of the greenhouse gas, isn't it? So increased concentration of carbon dioxide, it is lead to global warming. What is global warming? Global warming is a rise in temperature of the atmosphere of the earth. This results in melting of ice glaciers in the polar region. If ice melts, what happens? Which leads to rise in sea level. So then causing floods in coastal areas. Then coastal areas may be temporarily or permanently submerged under water. So these are all the ill effects of global warming. Global warming is nothing but rise in temperature of atmosphere of the earth. So combustion of fossil fuels leads to increased amount of carbon dioxide, which in turn causes global warming. And then burning of coal and diesel, they also release sulfur dioxide gas, and it is extremely suffocating and corrosive in nature. And if you inhale that sulfur dioxide gas, it causes irritation in the nose and throat. It also causes shortness of breath, then wheezing, and feeling of tightness, that uneasiness around the chest. So these are all the harmful effect of burning of coal and diesel, which releases sulfur dioxide gas. Then, and coming to petrol, the petrol engine gives off gaseous oxides of nitrogen. So oxides of sulfur and nitrogen, they dissolve in rainwater and form acids. So such rain is called as acid rain. Acid rain, it is very harmful for crops, buildings, and soil. So these acids, how acids are formed? These acids are formed when sulfur and nitrogen oxide dissolve in rainwater. Then acid rain also causes acidification of lake. That lake water will be, if acid is added to that lake, it becomes acidified. Acidification of lake or stream water and cause damage to forest soil. Soil also will be acidified. Then it will be, the soil is not fit for growth of plants. Then irreplaceable buildings, that is very valuable buildings, statues, sculptures, these are all get destroyed due to acid rain. So acid rain is caused due to release of when petrol is engine gives off gaseous oxides of sulfur and nitrogen. When they dissolve in rainwater, it causes acid rain. And so other than this, from centuries, wood was used as a domestic and industrial fuel. But now it has been replaced by coal and other fuels like LPG, isn't it? In many rural parts, people still use wood as a fuel because it is easily available, as well as it is available at a very low cost. So wood is also used as a fuel even in many remote rural parts of our country. And why do we not burn wood anymore? Because wood is a low cost fuel and is easily available, but burning of wood releases lots of smoke, which causes respiratory problems. Moreover, if you want to get wood, what do? We cut trees, isn't it? Cutting of trees for wood as a fuel also lead to deforestation. Hence, people now we prefer to use coal or LPG as fuel instead of wood. Children, so what are the reasons why should we not burn wood anymore? Even though wood is a low cost fuel and is easily available, but while burning it releases lots of smoke which causes respiratory problems. Moreover, cutting of trees for wood leads to deforestation. Isn't for growing trees, it takes many years, isn't it? So trees are very, very important. If we have already learned about what are the problems caused due to deforestation. So hence now people prefer to use coal or LPG as a fuel instead of wood. And the use of diesel and petrol fuels in automobile is nowadays being replaced by CNG, that is compressed natural gas, because CNG produces harmful product in a very less quantity. CNG, we cannot tell CNG is pollutant free, but it causes pollution in a very less quantity. So we can call that CNG as a cleaner fuel. And so because of these reasons, now we have started using all fossil fuels, isn't it? So how do we conserve fuels? to conserve fuels, we should collect all materials required while cooking at one place before switching on the gas. Otherwise, when you switch on the gas and search for things, then unnecessarily we are wasting fuel, isn't it? So collect all materials required while cooking at one place before we switching on the gas. Then we have to check the pressure of tires of vehicles regularly. Then we have to choose walking rather than using cars or motorbikes for short distance. And if it is a long distance, we should use public transport, isn't it, instead of private vehicles. So by these methods, we can conserve fuels. Got children? So till now, so we have completed the chapter, and till now we have learnt about ideal fuel. Ideal fuel is cheap, readily available, readily combustible, easy to transport, easy to handle, should have high calorific value, and it does not produce any pollutant, gas or residue, so that it pollute the environment. And fuels differ in their efficiency and cost. And fuel efficiency is expressed in terms of calorific value. Unit of calorific value is kilojoule per kg. And then we have learned about different harmful effects of burning of fuels, like unburned carbon particles in air are dangerous pollutant, causes respiratory problems. Incomplete combustion of fuel gives poisonous carbon monoxide gas. Then increased percentage of carbon dioxide gas, it leads to global warming. Then oxides of sulfur and nitrogen gas produced by burning of coal, diesel, petrol, etc. They cause acid rain, which is harmful for crops, buildings, and soil. Okay, children, that's all for this session. Thank you.